folks, Ariel over here at Nyth, with possibly Burley's tail flapping in the foreground there. So, we survived the January storm here. It is now warmed back up. It's actually been in the 60s the last couple days and sunny, and so I wanted to give you a look at just what happened and how everything made it through the cold and the snow. A couple things. It did not get quite as cold as they were predicting. It did indeed snow for 2 days, and it got to about 28, maybe 27, but they were calling for 24, and I'm often even colder than that, so I was worried about it being 22, and 28 is a lot better than 22 as far as keeping things alive. I'm not sure what would have survived had it actually gotten quite that cold, but it didn't. So here's what things look like. Here's what Burley looks like. His inside out ear. So most of the herbs and flowers around the house look just fine. You can see my chives are actually about to bloom. These were all tucked under those frost covers, and the only real damage was that some things got kind of squashed a little sideways from the just the weight of the cover with the snow on it. But most of everything through here looks pretty good and is even growing and blooming. The only spot where I saw actual damage was over in this corner where the cover blew off for a little bit because it did get windy. You can see how it's going to grow out of it because the middle looks still green, but the parsley got a little burnt there, and I had a basil over here as well, and you can see how the leaves got blackened on top. That's one of the more frost sensitive things, so we'll see if that grows out of that. I think it might, since part of it's green. So having the frost cover on definitely protected from most of that happening. And over here in the garden, again, a few of the tops of the asparagus kind of got bent over there. You can see that was just from the weight of the snow on the frost cloth, because it was very wet, heavy snow. But other than that, things seem to have survived. The chard's looking good, the big chard, the baby chard, the beets, the kales and bok choys and onions. Potatoes actually grow a lot. Check these out. There's still a few that are still pushing through the ground just now, but the majority of them are up and looking green and happy. Shortly those beds are going to be all lush. And the garlic, of course, growing through the snow in the first place, was fine. The beans seem to generally be okay. A bunch of them are still pushing their way out of the ground. The cabbages all survived. The lettuce actually grew a bunch. I love the bright colors here of all the different kinds of lettuce leaves across there, different textures and colors. Strawberries continued to bloom away, so hopefully we'll get a good crop of those shortly. The cauliflowers and broccolis survived. They're pretty cold tolerant. The peas in general look good, and the couple I replanted where a chipmunk had eaten them are popping through here. You can see some more broccolis and cauliflowers. You can even see, like in the heart of that one, it's a broccoli starting to make a little flower down in there. The other potato bed, again, almost all of them have popped up. There's still some just pushing through the dirt, but for the most part they are up and looking good. And then this was the other place where a few leaves got a little burnt looking because they're more frost sensitive, but I think the cucumbers will grow out of that. But the beets across the other side, the onions on this side, down here the baby onions that you can't even really tell aren't little grass blades yet. The horseradish is very, very hardy. Rhubarb looks great. Time to make a rhubarb bar. The radishes are actually growing. Even starting to be able to, let's see if the camera will show you, see little red bulges growing there on the root down underneath the leaves. And the carrots are all looking good. That little thick carpet of grass-like leaves growing down each side of the summer squashes. So Everything looks pretty good. Even most of the berry bushes survived. All those white flowers over there are service berries. You can see some in front of the compost bins. Over there, those all just grow wild. But here's the overview of what things look like, and it seems like everything is going to be okay. Hopefully there's no frost in the forecast for the next week or so, so hopefully everything will have a chance to get growing. But I want to give you guys a look at what happened after the storm. So we survived all the snow, and it is looking okay and even growing. That's the payoff for being set up and prepared for freezes at all times. And I always check the forecast, usually twice a day, every day. And if anything close to a frost is called for town, I bundle everything up here because it's often a little colder here. So, tell me what's going on in your gardens, what your weather is like. I'm sure a bunch of you are struggling with heat right now, but this is what's happening here. Hi folks, Ariel over here. Thanks for spending some of your valuable time watching these videos. Hopefully you found something beautiful, educational, interesting, peaceful, relaxing, or useful while you were here. If so, find more videos here, subscribe so you don't miss any updates, and if you like what you found here, feel free to like and share away so that others can benefit as well. You all have a wonderful day.